So this is going to be a general messages reading, and there's no one here on this live right now, so I'm just talking to myself. um, just because I'm aware I'm saving it. I'm saving it for the future, so I'm just talking to myself. Oh my god! Wow! Yes, I knew you would come through. I knew you would come through. I knew it. Hello, how are you, Flo? It's so nice to see you. Hi! Oh my god, the gang's all here, guys. I was just saying how I'm talking to myself on this live, but now you caught me again. You caught me again. I know I'm so elusive with my lives. Soon as I saw it, oh, I'm so glad you're good. I am good, and I feel insane. I'm talking to the gang. I feel insane. Okay, it's all good though. It's like in a really good way. I feel insane in a good way. So this is general messages. I don't know which direction they're gonna go in because I feel like I'm in a very, very strange mood tonight. So these general messages might be a little bit weird. Who knows? I don't know. You were watching all of my videos today? Stop. What? Which one was your favorite? Tell me. Hi, welcome to the live. Oh my god, the gang really is all here, and I'm so excited about it. Well, actually, I will talk about what I've been thinking about lately. I've been thinking about connection and intimacy a lot lately, and how difficult those things are. How insanely difficult those things are. That's what I've been thinking about lately. And it's making me feel insane. But I'm also making a conscious effort to put more energy into intentionally create intimacy in my life because I realized, and this is a topic that I've been thinking about. It's I wouldn't say I've been thinking about intimacy. I don't know. You made a comment. I do love a good romance reading. I don't know if you were talking about my readings or you're talking about what I'm talking about. But I haven't been necessarily thinking about intimacy just from a romantic point of view. I've been thinking about it from a perspective of like trust and allowance, and it's, yeah, how tough it is, how difficult it is. But anyway, that's a tangent. So we've got three groups today. We've got a general reading. We'll see what comes out. I feel like I'm in a very, what kind of mood am I in? I'm in a very whimsical mood. I'm a very whimsical mood. I'm also, well, there's another thing. I'm going on this whole journey with divination right now, where I'm really rethinking how we divinate as a collective, and how divination is becoming so mainstream in a sense. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a thing to consider. And that's something that I've been thinking about a lot, and how divination is also, it's it's something we need to regulate ourselves with, is something that I've been thinking about. I mean, I've always thought it since I even started reading tarot. I felt like I wanted to regulate myself with divination and like hold myself accountable in the way that I read, but I'm like going deeper into it lately. And I do meditate and cleanse before I do readings for people, and before I do, my clients' readings, all of that. But it almost feels like it's not enough anymore. Like I have to do more. And I'm trying to figure out what that is in order to give it proper respect. And that's something that I've been thinking about a lot as well. And also, I've been thinking about divinating for I have not been taking baths. Flo, have not been. I'm a shower girl through and through. I know I need to. Flo, I know you're gonna be on me for baths. I know you're gonna be on me. And one day, listen, one day I will get into a bath and I will personally text you from my bath. Yeah. You can keep holding me accountable for it. I would welcome that actually. But maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's the cleansing that I need before I read. Right. Okay. Anyway, a lot of tangents. We're here for a purpose, and the purpose is the reading. So let's get into the reading. So, group one, and it's fortune cookies. So it's extra exciting because I'll do a fortune cookie at the end of the reading as well after we channel. So, group one, general messages. Group one. Group two, general messages. Group three, guess what? General messages. Okay, so look over which one you like. Well, should I make a little noise for each one? I feel like I do that sometimes, and that's kind of fun. I'm gonna do a little noise for each one. Okay, what noise am I feeling for group one? That's group one. Okay, group two. What noise am I feeling for group two? That was group two. Okay, and group three, what noise am I feeling for group three? That was group three. Okay, let's get into the reading. So we're gonna start with group one. So whoever picked group number one, let's get into it. I'll look at the fortune cookie at the end. Okay, so what was the noise? Like whoosh, whatever. The noises are really not for the purpose of the reading, but they might come in handy. Who knows? Okay, wait. Let me see what I'm channeling first. I wanna see what I'm channeling first. So first, what I'm getting is the letters SAL, like Sal. Sal. Now that's funny because like I'm being brought to like Sal from the Impractical Jokers. If you watched or ever watched it, Sal, but like SAL, Sal, salt. Okay, I'm getting salt. Salt. Okay, salt is important for this message. And because I'm asking, is it salty? Like, as in, like, the taste of salt? Is it like something is salty? Something. No, it's like salt itself. But what I'm thinking is like salt itself, we think of it as healing, right? Like, salt is something, like salt lamps. Or you always hear of like, you need to go to the Dead Sea with all the salt and stuff like so salt, there's like this healing property that they want me to consider. But salt, and that now they're saying, okay, the taste, now you can think about the taste. I wasn't allowed to really think about the taste first. It's you think about the healing first and then you think about the taste. Salt. Salt is also addictive. Salt is cleansing too. Right? Yes. Cleansing, salt. Okay. And now I'm really noticing the palms of my hands. So like I'm getting someone actually holding salt like in this part of their palm. Like someone's like holding salt like this, but like little tiny heaps of salt. Like very, 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 oh, I'm getting this sensation, right? If you put a tiny little bit of salt on, like a little heap of salt into the palm of your hand, right? What they're giving me is a sensation of like you probably would barely feel it unless you really, really focused on it and you really, really connected to it. Like if you're really, really connected to the salt in the palms of your hand, these little heaps of salt. Salt. Now I'm getting this energy of So what I heard exactly was tiny sadness. Tiny sadness. Tiny sadness. You're holding on to tiny sadness. And you're feeling it as if it's huge sadness, or you're feeling it as if it's monumental sadness is what it's a tiny little heap. It's not a huge heap. And now what I'm feeling, because I'm feeling the energy in the center of the palms of my hands. And like, if I'm looking at my hands like this, imagine there was a rainbow going from one palm to the other palm. That's what I'm seeing right now. And it's like a rainbow that's coming from the palms of my hands, one palm to the other, and it's kind of bouncing back and forth. It's like a rainbow that's bouncing back and forth. Two tiny heaps of sadness. Rainbow to me represents connection to your spirit guides and spirit realm, but of course, like, also makes me think of luck and happiness, and the 10 of Cups even is coming through, you know. But I really associate rainbows with the universe really communicating with you. I feel like there's some level of sadness that you've experienced in the recent past. It doesn't feel like devastating sadness. It feels like that kind of like, oh, that's a bit disappointing. That's a bit disappointing. And it's actually happiness. It makes me think of like the 5 of Cups in a sense as well. Tiny heaps of sadness are actually happiness in the making, is what I'm hearing. Okay. So, okay, with that information, I'm going to start shuffling tarot. Let's see group 1. The High Priestess, right? Okay, so it's your connection to the unknown, to the mystical, to the... So I think group 1 is really... there's like a new portal that's being opened up, or like a new doorway that's being opened up for your connection with the unknown, for your connection with things that you can't explain. The High Priestess. And you know what? These two make me think of salt and pepper shakers now. Like, I'm looking at these, you know, it makes me think of like salt and pepper shakers. And salt was coming through so strongly at the beginning of this. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper makes me think of wisdom as well, right? Maybe some of you are graying. It's maybe your guys are like, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Those grays are beautiful. Those grays are important. Salt and pepper. But salt and pepper is now making me think of wisdom. So salt maybe in this instance represents wisdom too. Salt and pepper. I was about to say pepper spicy, but let's, for argument's sake, pepper is spicy, okay? Cut me some slack. And salt is salty, right? Or peppery, right? Let's just go peppery. Salt and pepper. Salty and peppery. It's like, you may think, because salt is now making me think of sadness, and pepper is making me think of slight frustration. But again, like salt and pepper, they're not like the most out there, like it's like the most basic type of seasoning, right? That's what I'm thinking. It's the most basic type of seasoning that you can possibly have for a meal. You know, there's all these other spices that you can have and add to your food, but salt and pepper is like, it's kind of the basics, right? So what I'm getting with this group is that certain sadnesses or irritations that you're experiencing right now, it's just salt and pepper. It's not hot sauce 3000 or whatever the fuck, I don't know. But it's like they want you to put it into perspective how, and there, it's like I'm not getting this energy of just like, oh, just get over it or anything like that, but it's like it's giving it flavor, you know, like you're gaining flavor in your life right now, and it's only very basic flavor. It's not even something that is it, like, take this sadness and this irritation and a discomfort that you're feeling as flavor. Flavor. And now I'm getting like flavor is healing. Adding flavor, these emotions of sadness and irritation, they're flavor to your situation right now. I feel like a lot of you have gone through a period of insane boredom. And maybe you may admit this to yourself at this point, where actually, yes, I've been feeling kind of bored lately, you know? Maybe you've been praying like, oh my God, can we get something exciting going here? Can we get something interesting happening here? I'm getting that life or your guides, energies around you, they're easing you into something, because this is just the basic flavors that you're getting a taste of. Whatever's going on in your life right now, it's only a little taste. You've only gotten a little taste of something here. It's about to get very flavorful. And in a sense, you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone. That's what it is. Because it's like when you've got that like spice on your tongue is irritated, uncomfortable, but hey, it's tasty, right? So I'm kind of getting like you're about to be pushed out of your comfort zone, but it's going to be tasty. Life's about to be so tasty for you, group one. Life is about to get very weird for you, group one, I feel. That's like, I feel like I need to mention that. Life is about to get very weird for you, but not in a bad way and not really in a good way, just weird. When things are weird, it's hard to judge if they're good or bad. That's so true. Sorry, I know I just said it myself, but I am so agreeing with myself of what I just said. When something is odd, weird, eccentric, when something is not like the norm, it's very difficult to judge whether it's good or bad in the moment, because you don't have the guidebook, the rule book to say like, oh yeah, no, from past experiences, we know that this is not good or this is very good. You don't have that. You don't have the template to say that something it's weird. It's plain weird. It cannot be good or bad. Like the high priestess, it's like there's no good or bad. There's no negative or positive, because it's weird. Things are too weird to judge whether it's good or bad. And that's something that your guides want you to embrace right now. Maybe there's a need. So like versus the judgment card, where it's like with the judgment card is where you can decide whether your journey was a punishment or whether it was a punishment or a reward, right? The judgment card is the second last card of the major arcana. The high priestess, I mean, it's technically the third. Well, no, it's technically the second, but it's kind of the third, because the fool is 0. I mean, it used to be 1, but it is 0 in a Rider-Waite-Smith, and I resonate with that. The high priestess is the second. The judgment card is the second last. Some of you think you're at an end of a journey. Some of you think you're closing up a cycle, but you've already begun your new one. I'm really getting that strongly. Some of you think that you're still closing something off, but in reality, you're actually already you've already started the new cycle. You've started it. You've already started the new journey. You didn't even realize how you started. You didn't even realize you got yourself. What I heard is you didn't even realize you got yourself into this. But it wasn't like an ominous sort of a way. It's like you've already gotten yourself into this new cycle. Like there's no going back. There's no going back now. You've signed up for something currently you don't even realize you've signed up for. And I don't want you to feel like it's an ominous thing that I'm saying. It's not. You've signed up for some flavor. Okay, there's cards flying on the floor. I was seeing a rainbow, and I was saying 10 of Cups, yeah. But then look, and didn't I say at the beginning of this reading, this also reminds me of the 5 of Cups energy? The fuck? That's so exciting. That's so exciting for me as a reader. Look at me go. Look at I feel well like this is a very aligned reading is what I'm getting. 5 of Cups, 10 of Cups. I don't want to open this card yet. I'm gonna wait. So we already talked about 5 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. I feel like there's mild sadness that some of you are experiencing that your guides are like, embrace it as flavor rather than as, oh my God, something bad is about to happen. They're like, nah, it's not about something bad happening. It's about something weird happening. It's about something very weird happening. You've hit some sort of like domino effect in your life to really shake things up to get you out of your comfort zone, group one. But ultimately, I feel like with the 10 of Cups, it's gonna emotionally. That's the thing. I'm getting you're gonna be experiencing a lot of different emotions. Emotions that maybe you didn't even know existed inside of you. Like there's something kind of specific about the emotions that you're going to be experiencing. The way you're going to be experiencing emotions is going to be very different. It's like you're redefining your relationship with your emotions. I think that's actually the main point of this reading, group one. You are redefining your relationship with your emotions. And it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird to do that in the next while. I feel like you're only at the beginning of this. 9 of Cups. This is all about emotion. This is about emotions that you didn't even know existed inside of you. These are like emotions that you're going to be like, I don't even know how to call, like what to call this, how to name this. I don't even know how to what I'm getting is how to understand it, but not in this like mental way. It's like my body has never experienced this sort of a feeling before. Or maybe it did, but maybe I forgot. There's this feeling of like maybe even remembering certain emotions. So if you've struggled with feeling certain emotions fully, or you've struggled with if you've struggled with connecting to certain emotions properly, you're about to start getting like connecting to those emotions properly. Like if you feel like it's been really hard to feel anger, you're going to start feeling anger. If you've, not really known how to connect to your fear, you're going to start connecting to your fear. If you have had struggles with connecting to maybe even joy, you're going to start connecting to it. And you're like, oh my God. But there's this feeling of remembering emotion. It's like, I forgot what this feels like. And it's going to be very emotionally fulfilling. Not because you're only experiencing happiness, but because you're experiencing the flavor of all the emotions. So if you're feeling sadness, your guides are saying maybe it's a good thing because maybe you've avoided feeling sadness for a very long time. If you're feeling anger or slight irritation, maybe it's a good thing because you've avoided feeling anger for a very long time. But you're about to feel very emotionally nourished. Very emotionally nourished, very emotionally connected. And it's funny, at the beginning of this video, before I even started this group, I was talking about intimacy. Intimacy definitely could be a part of it, But I feel it's more, there's emotions that weren't felt or weren't noted that are going to start popping up for you. And that might scare you at the beginning or make you feel like you're out of control or maybe even disappointed in yourself. Like, Because I'm kind of getting someone maybe even having like an angry outburst and being disappointed in themselves, but then realizing it's a good thing that they had that angry outburst. I'm getting that scenario. I mean, it doesn't have to be that exact one, but or maybe like laughing joyfully with a group of people and then going home and being embarrassed about it and being like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. Like, why did I? Because maybe when you were a child or something like that, you were shamed for experiencing joy. But you're about to feel your emotions. Get ready for a bit of an intense, I want to say few months. Emotionally, but I'm not getting, this is not going to be emotionally draining. It's going to be emotionally fulfilling. Like it's going to help you. I'm getting someone who actually has all these emotions coming up, but it's giving them more energy. It's actually giving them more energy. Queen of Cups. That's topical. This is such a, I feel like this is such an aligned reading. Queen of Cups. You're about to be really in touch with your emotions. And your guides are encouraging you to observe them and not. So maybe you might feel this need to really name your emotions and be like, oh, what is this emotion I'm feeling? Or what is this feeling I'm feeling? Maybe there's no need to actually name it. Maybe all you need to do is feel it and observe it. Maybe there's no need to actually say, this is what the emotion is. This is what the feeling is that I'm experiencing. Maybe you just need to feel it. And then the name might come much later. It doesn't have to come right now. Don't rush to name it. Knight of Swords. I mean, this has an energy of like falling in love. Like some of you might be really like falling head over heels in love, but it doesn't have to be like with a person. Like it doesn't have to be romantic. What I'm getting with this energy, you know, it's this, you know, in like fairy tales or in cartoons, it's like, what's happening to me? My body, I don't know it's like you're falling in love, but you know, the character is like, oh, what's going on? What's happening to me? I don't understand this. So, but it could be like maybe you're falling in love with a passion, like maybe you're falling in love with a project. It could be that you're falling in love with a person. It could be that maybe you are finding renewed sense of love for certain people in your life. That could also, I'm getting love, like I'm literally just getting pure love for this group. But it's gonna make things weird. Love is gonna make things weird in your life for the next few months. And it's like, can you just embrace it? But I literally heard that. Can you just embrace it, please? Can you just fucking embrace it, please? Can you just embrace love in your life? Your guides are like, can you just embrace the fact that you're falling in love with someone or something? Or you're rediscovering love for like a family member. Can you please, for the love of God, just embrace it? Wow. Okay. That's a real chill message for a fucking Monday evening. And let go of your emotional baggage. Okay, so some of you may be, I think some of you are like resisting either like falling in love with something like a project or a thing that you're doing because you're in it. Maybe it's kind of like, oh my God, if it doesn't work out, I will fall in love with this like path or this career or this project. And then what if it doesn't work out and it doesn't go anywhere? And then I'm left with disappointment. Maybe you had experiences in the past where you fell in love with like, I don't know, like a career path or something and it didn't work out. And it's like, it actually affected you emotionally. Like, I think even if this is career related, it like, some of you are really emotionally invested in your career. But for some of you, it could be like, again, it could be more banal than that. It's like falling in love. You feel yourself falling in love with someone and you're like, but what if it's going to be like the last relationship that I had? And you're bringing your old, stale, stinky emotional baggage into like a new relationship where you should just be falling in love, like, and just enjoying the process and the flavor of falling in love, right? Because what is love? Love is pure white light and all the emotions are all the colors, right? So all the colors are just all the flavors of love. So it's like you need to experience all the flavors of love. But what I'm getting also for some of you, this is going to be like falling in love. This is a very interesting energy that I'm getting with like a parent, like loving your parent and being like, oh my God, like I love my parent. Like, so maybe there's a parent that you've had a very difficult past with, and all of a sudden you're feeling all these feelings of love towards your parent, and you're like, oh my God, I love you. Like, I love you. And maybe your inner child is like that rejection of, but what if they do the same thing and they reject me the way they did before? I can't love, like, I can't fall, in love with my parent in that kind of sort of a way. um it's like I can't love them the way I did when I was a kid. I remember when I loved my parent as a kid, and they rejected me and they hurt me, and it's like, don't bring you're about to experience a lot of love, group one. It's like, it's a blessing. But the thing is, when you love, when you're full of love, shit gets weird in a way. In a way. And again, it's not ominous, but things are about to get weird in your life for the next while. And I think things are going to move very quickly. I think things you expected to stagnate, or like, I'm kind of seeing you watching your life and being like, I thought this wasn't going to get solved for what I heard is for years. I thought this wasn't going to get solved for months. And it's like love is clearing. Like, it's so, I mean, I feel like I'm so cheesy right now with what I'm saying, but it's like love is literally like obliterating all these like issues that you've been dealing with. But the thing is, in order to embrace this, you also have to embrace all the emotions that come with love. And it's like, you just have to. You just have to go with it. I also think a part of this is falling in love with yourself, and genuinely falling in love with yourself. It's not this feeling of just like, oh, I'm so great, and like, this egotistical sort of thing. It's, you're falling in love with yourself the way a child loves themselves. It's like you're about to have so much compassion for yourself, and there's this, that inner critic is going to be like, well, it's not good to have compassion. It's not good. No, because you're not doing enough, and you're not doing this, and but it's like a fucking woodpecker in your brain. Like, I'm kind of seeing this as the two sides of you. The Queen of Cups, you're like enjoying all these emotions and enjoying all this love, and you're in this energy, and you're flowing, and you're in a wavy sort of, and you're like, wow, and it's clearing everything in front of you. All your challenges are being just cleared out. It's like, whoa, as you're riding the wave. And this is like your inner critic, and it's like, stop it. Stop it. No, I will not stop it. Stop it. That's literally what's happening. And you're like, no, I'm gonna float. And I'm going to enjoy my lovely emotions. And your inner critic's like, no! Stop! Stop! Don't you remember? Don't you remember all these emotional, horrible things that we experienced? All the emotional hurt that we've experienced? All the pain? Maybe it's time to get a little bit hurt again, and not in this like masochistic sort of a way, but like, maybe it's time to allow yourself to feel comfortable and confident enough and soft enough to just get hurt again. Like, okay, if I get hurt, I get hurt. Fuck it. But I do still have that knowledge from my past, and I do know better, and I've learned a lot. Whatever this is, whether you're, I think falling in love with yourself, like, that's going to be a given, but whatever this kind of represents here, whether it's like falling in love, like with a person, falling in love with something like a project or a creative endeavor or whatever it is, or, finding that newfound love for a parent or a sibling or whatever, allow it. Actually, I will say, some of you, maybe you're expecting, if you're expecting, you'll know this message is for you. There's this message of allow your, it's so weird because it's like, of course, but it's coming through, so I'm going to say it. Allow yourself to freely fall in love with the child that you're about to like bring into the world. Like, allow yourself to just freely fall in love with them, rather than like examining them and being like, what's wrong with them, and like, oh, are they healthy, are they not? Like, obviously, you know, we're gonna have those kind of like worries and concerns, or but it's like, maybe there's a karmic cycle. This is going to be a very specific message, but it might be like kind of like a karmic cycle of parents expecting that there's going to be something wrong with their child. But it's not like that they're expecting it in this, there's definitely going to be something wrong with my child. It's more subconscious. Like, they're looking out for it. They're like, maybe there's a message here for somebody who's maybe expecting. It's like, don't look for that in your child if you're expecting, but obviously very specific message. Do I want to pull more cards? I want one more, and I want it from this deck. Okay. The Magician. I feel like so Magician to me is curiosity first and foremost. Get curious about this love you're experiencing. What if you didn't get scared of this love that you're going to be experiencing, but what if you got curious instead? What if you got curious instead? Instead of getting critical, instead of getting nitpicky with it, instead of, yeah, like, don't try to pick this apart. Don't, whatever this is, don't pick it apart. Don't pluck. I'm getting like, don't pluck it. Like, don't pluck it until there's nothing left. What if you got curious and explored more so? Explore it, navigate it. And if you get hurt, well, so be it. You're kind of ready for that. And it's not to say like, okay, let's just get absolutely wrecked now. It's not that. It's not for you to get wrecked. It's still navigating. Be like, oh, this feels good. This feels, this doesn't. But there's this feeling of like, okay, so you'll get hurt. Like, why? Or do you want to be bored? Because the other option is being bored. Is quite frankly, the other option is being bored to death. It's like the energy that I'm picking up. It's like, it's either this and explore this love, or be bored to death and embrace it. Love is weird. That's literally what keeps coming through. Love is weird, and to love something is a weird experience, and that's amazing. Okay, let's look at your fortune cookie. I'm actually so excited to see what the fortune cookie says. Okay, let's open this. Oh my God. These people are so funny. Oh my God, you can put users in timeout. Someone just went, do you feel the energy of farts and poop? I did block them because sometimes people escalate, but it's pretty funny. I'm sorry, that's pretty funny to me. Okay, let's do a fortune. Okay. Okay. Ah, I don't like it when it crumbles. But that is just how the cookie crumbles. Shit gets weird. Story of my life. Hello, welcome to the live. Okay, let's see what the cookie says for group 1. Okay. Your kindness towards another person will not be forgotten. So maybe for most of you, it's going to be about another person. This might be just experiencing love with another person. It might be that simple. Your kindness towards another person will not be forgotten. So that is group 1. Okay. Thank you, group 1. I feel so uplifted with this message. I honestly just feel like it feels very nice. But it feels weird. It feels weird. I'm kind of feeling like it's like this feeling of like, oh, I want to cry and I want to get angry, but I also want to laugh and I want to smile, and it's just like, that energy. Okay. That was group 1. So group 2 is the next group that we're moving along to. So 2 is the next general message that we're going to do. Group 2. Oh, here's your fortune cookie, group 2. And then we'll open it up. Sorry, I'm still laughing about that comment. Okay. Wait, group 2. Wait. Shh, shh, shh. Quiet. Oh, I'm gonna channel first because that's what I did for group. Oh my God, Beebsy is here, but I didn't see her comment. Tales from the... Of course. Sorry, that's exactly who it is. I'm so sorry. It's just because I know you as Beebsy, but now I see your icon, the drawing, the channel drawing that I did for you. So nice. Oh my God, there's a reunion happening in the chat. I love it. Okay, let's get into it. Group 2. Okay. Group 2, what am I channeling for group 2? Okay, group 2, wait. Well, first thing that I'm getting with group 2, I'm getting this like feeling of it's a little bit more complicated than you're giving it credit. Oh my God, Paul, hi. Hi. Thank you for joining my live. Oh my God. My brother's here. My brother's watching me. Okay. Group 2. So what I'm getting is it's a little bit more complicated than what you think, but it's not. It didn't come through what you think. It came through as what you give it credit. Like you're not giving it credit for how complicated it is. And it's kind of almost like it's not the energy of someone going, oh, it's a lot more complicated than you think. It's a lot more complicated than you think. It's not that. It's more like you're not giving this thing a chance. It's a lot more complicated than you give it credit. It's kind of this feeling of when people dismiss certain types of music, or when people dismiss certain people. You know, when certain people, it's like, oh, they're like this, you know? And it's like, they're a lot more complex than you're giving them credit. Or it can be, you know, like people just dismiss something because they don't have the capacity to understand it, albeit they have the capacity to understand other complex things. But just because something type of a complex thing that you can understand doesn't make it simple, doesn't make it any less complex. Like for this group, your guides are saying that it or they are. You haven't seen enough yet. I feel like for most of you, it's not a person. It feels like a thing. It feels like a thing. Or like a topic. Or a situation. It's like it's a situation. The situation. It's a situation. It's not a person. It's not even a topic, really. There's a situation that you've dismissed as like, I don't know if it's quite this energy. Let me see. This feels very complex. Actually, this message, I feel like I'm going to struggle to get it out for a minute. Give me a second. or a minute or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing somebody looking at something and it's like a cube. They're looking at the cube and they're just like, okay, it's a cube. It's a white cube. They're like, okay, it's a white cube. So what? Big deal. And they walk away from it. But if they walked around the cube, if they looked kind of like around the cube, they would have noticed that it wasn't a cube at all. It was actually a pyramid. But from a certain angle, it looks like a cube, but it's actually a pyramid. And you need to go back and look at a specific situation is what I'm getting. There's like a specific situation that I don't know. We're going to look into it because I'm going to get the cards out. But there's a situation that you've dismissed as a cube, but it was always actually a pyramid. And it's important that you revisit it. Something is a lot more complex than you thought. And it's like a good thing that it's more complex than you thought. It's actually going to bring you a sense. I'm kind of getting like coming back and getting a sense of relief that it's a pyramid and not a cube. It's like, I'm relieved it's a pyramid. Because when I looked at it as a cube, like the emotion that I'm feeling when I'm looking at it as a cube is like frustration, like, oh, I still haven't found my pyramid. I still haven't found my pyramid. But it is a pyramid. You just need to walk around it to see that it's like, it's an optical illusion. Something was like, maybe you were looking too much at how things were looking. Like maybe you were relying on your visual comprehension of the situation, or, you know, you know, it's like what I'm getting is because this feels very complex. In order to see the cube as a pyramid, you need to walk around it. So you need to move yourself. You need to create motion within yourself into a certain direction. You need to pivot. You need to adjust to the cube in order to see it as a pyramid. The cube is not going to move. The situation is not going to move. You have to move yourself around the situation in order to see it as a pyramid and not a cube. Sure, you can walk away from the situation, but then you're frustrated and you're like, I still haven't found my pyramid. But it was there. You just needed to like pivot yourself. So what I'm getting is you're coming into a time of pivoting yourself with things that are already there in your life. Things that you've deemed boring, things that you've deemed as like, I've seen everything there is to see here. I've tried everything there is to try here. The universe is kind of going to force you to pivot around those things to see them from a new angle so that you can find your pyramid. Okay, let's get some cards. You're being called to look at things that especially those things that you're like, oh, I know what they're like. I know what that situation's like. I've been in that situation before. Don't be so fast. Don't get hung up on how things look. If you pivot your perspective and they still look that way, fair enough. But have you pivoted your perspective? Have you recently considered pivoting your perspective? Okay, group 2. 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups makes me think as well of like use your imagination a little bit. You know, I'm kind of getting 7 of Cups because you know, a lot of the times we like to talk about it being like delusions or daydreaming and, you know, kind of like more of a negative sort of spin on the 7 of Cups. But 7 of Cups is also imagination. Your guides are like, come on, use your imagination just a little bit. Just use because if you just use your imagination in this boring situation or this boring scenario that you're finding yourself in, you will find new angles to this situation that are very exciting and are actually aligned with who you are. Because the 7 of Cups is also the card of choosing the higher self over the shallow stuff. your higher self wants you to pivot. You don't need to move. Like, I'm kind of getting, you don't need to move countries. You don't need to go on that trip. You don't need to break up with your partner. You don't need to blah, 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 blah. You don't need to blah, 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 blah. There's no, maybe some of you have been thinking, should I just end this? Should I quit my job? Should I do this? I will say in this specific reading, I don't know, maybe if you get another group, I don't know, use your own intuition. Your intuition is going to be the most important thing. And I feel like group 2, I really need to mention this. You need to really use your own intuition with this reading. You don't need a big, huge change. You don't need a big, huge haircut, is what I heard. You don't need that insane haircut that you're considering. If you're thinking of getting, but it's okay, that's just like more metaphorical. Get a haircut. It's a haircut. Let's calm down for a second. But what I'm getting is, like, you don't need to quit that job. You genuinely don't. You don't need to end that relationship, that friendship. Are you running away from something by doing that? But it's not so much running away, right? Because you're just looking at the cube and you're like, it's just a darn cube, isn't it? This cube is just a darn cube and that's all it is, and there's nothing else to it. It's just a darn cube. God darn it. And then you're walking away, but it's a pyramid. And I'm getting a white cube, but when you walk around it, it's a purple pyramid. I don't know if that's going to be important for anyone. But it's actually a purple pyramid. If you walk around it, and that's what you're looking for. Why are you looking for the purple pyramid? White cube is like structure. Cube to me is like stability, right? It's stability. There's something very stable about a cube. It's white. It's like, white makes me think of just like all cards on the table, very unassuming, maybe even. Something about a white cube feels very, like, there it is. there's the white cube. There it is. Purple pyramid. I mean, it's a little bit more compelling. The purple pyramid. I mean, isn't pyramid the most, actually the most stable structure? Am I right in that? If you want to correct me, please feel free. Aren't pyramids like the most stable structure that you can have because of the... I could be wrong. So it's even more stable, but pyramids also make me think of like something mystical. And purple is color of power, mysticism as well, and wisdom. Also purple in Eastern Europe and Russia, I believe, widows wear purple. I didn't know that, but my mother told me, and now I know it. Mysticism. Like something that feels like, I'm also getting like something that feels really boring and dull. Not that a white cube is boring and dull. Sorry, no offense to any white cubes. Oh my god, it's raining outside and it's so nice. The sound is so nice. Like it's lashing outside. Something that might seem kind of dull and boring. Not dull. Dull is not the right. I don't think you see this situation as dull. You see this situation as like, I get it. I get it. It's a white cube. There's a lot more mysticism around this situation if you just apply your imagination a little bit more. And it doesn't mean you're being delusional. Using our imagination on something does not deem it delusional. There's this need to kind of, I think for this group, maybe you've been very concerned with being delusional, worried about being too delusional, but you're not. Your imagination is powerful. Okay, let's get more information. I just feel like there's something that you're used to You know what? They keep giving me this metaphor and I keep resisting it. So I'm going to just say it. It's like a married couple, right? And they know everything about one another. They know each other's past. Like they know each other's families. They know each other's flaws. All of those things. And let's say they've been married for 20 years or whatever, and they know each other through and through and through and through and through. It's like, I know what this person's like. I know who they are. They can just go, I know them, like that's Mary, that's John, like I know what they're like. Or they could just be like, I haven't gotten curious about Mary lately. I haven't gotten curious about John lately. Like, is there something different about them? Like, is something going on with them that they're, and it's like, let me just use my imagination around them just a little bit, it's like, what have they been up to? Like, that kind of thing. But it's this feeling of, familiarity does not equal a lack of magic. Familiarity does not equal a lack of magic. Familiarity is an opportunity for magic. Ten of Swords. I really feel like you've been considering ending something that really doesn't need to be ended. I'm getting that like as a very strong message. It's funny because what your guides are saying is you'd be wasting a great opportunity to exercise your imagination and your magic on something. This is an opportunity to exercise imagination and magic on something. 10 of Wands. You know what I'm getting with these three cards? I'm getting like, I'm really getting, I wouldn't necessarily say like grass is greener on the other side, but this is a concept I think about a lot. Variety. Variety is important, sure. Like, variety is important. We're supposed to experience variety, diversity, things like that in this lifetime. But when you're trying to diversify or vary your experiences too much, you actually are just numbing yourself out. It's like when you try it, it's kind of like if someone's just like constantly traveling, but they're in a different city every day or something, and they're like, oh, I have like, every hour I'm doing something, and they're going to like all these touristy places or whatever. Are they really experiencing those things, or are they just numbing themselves out? So there might actually be, I'm getting, this is a very specific message. Some of you need to reread an old book that you used to love. Reread the book. There's a book that you maybe used to read a lot as a child, or I don't know, as a teenager, or maybe even as an adult, who knows, but I'm getting there's a book that you've maybe read and reread, and maybe there's a need to like reread that book again or revisit it. It could be a movie or whatever, but I got books specifically for someone here. There's this, if you keep reading new books as well, this is interesting. It's like, maybe you're someone who keeps buying books and being like, oh, I'm gonna like, and you're reading like 2 or 3 books at the same time. There's something I'm getting, like, go and read the book you've read already. Go and watch that movie again that you've already watched. But from a different perspective. Look at it from a perspective. It's not going to be a cube this time. You're going to look at it with a new perspective and see if you're going to see the purple pyramid, or, I don't know, an orange cylinder. I don't know. Maybe it's an orange cylinder that you're going to see. Maybe it's not even a purple pyramid. But there's a need to look at something that you feel And it's about it. Like, I feel like maybe doing that act of like rewatching the movie or rereading the book or whatever can help you with this specific situation. too. Do you know, like, honestly, you know, these movies or whatever, you know, when people say that didn't age very well or that aged like fine wine, maybe there's something that, maybe there's something, I completely lost my thought. It's not important. But I am getting that message of don't numb yourself out by just like, you know, I keep hearing and another one and another one and another one and another one and another one. It's like I'm hearing someone go, enough, enough. Maybe it's you at yourself. Maybe, you know, a lot of the time I feel like when I hear things, I genuinely believe it's like my higher self is like screaming. It's me screaming at me. Or, oh, a car just like fell out. I'm gonna take it. The Chariot. I keep it. It's like, and I need to try this, and I need to try that, and I need to try this. Pick one thing and observe it from a new perspective. You've done so. I feel like whoever picked this group 2, you've had enough variety for 1 decade, is what I heard. You've had enough variety for 1 decade at this point. So at this point, it's time to pick one thing that you've already experienced and see it from a new perspective and actually get really curious about it and infuse it with magic through your imagination. Rather than being like, what can this thing give me? What can this situation show me that's so interesting? Oh, this is what I'm getting. Okay, wait, give me a second. I need to like readjust. This is the thing that I'm getting here, right? Sometimes things are interesting because, again, it's like, I'm going to use the metaphor of going to another country. Sometimes things are interesting because you're going to another country and you're kind of, in a way, in a sense, you can go to another country and you can say, okay, I'm going to go to this country and I'm going to let this country show me what's so interesting about it, what's so fun about it, what's so great about it. Great attitude to have. Great. Amazing. But what if you went to the same country with a new mindset of saying, I'm going to see what interesting things I can notice. My life cut off. Maybe you didn't even notice. Maybe you didn't even notice. You're put the responsibility of finding something interesting or finding something new rather than expecting magic from it. That's fun. I want to take this one. 2 of Pentacles. It's a symbiotic relationship between you and the situation. Once you start infusing the situation with the magic and your interest and your curiosity in it, it'll start showing you interesting things about it. And you need to be patient. I'm hearing magic takes patience. Magic takes patience. Magic takes patience. I'm really getting with group 2. Maybe you're looking for a sense of magic. Maybe you're looking for a sense of like, I just want life to feel magical. I want life to feel there's a little bit, it's like you want to be challenged by life, but does that mean you just want to be challenged by yourself to find the challenges that you enjoy? Though this is a really big thing with this group. Like, I think maybe you've been craving for a challenge that you will enjoy, Like, I want a challenge that I'll enjoy, that I'll have fun with. I want a challenge that I'll, yeah, maybe I'll sweat a little bit. And this can be in any area of your life, but specifically, I heard it's a situation. There's already a situation in your life where that challenge is present. That fun, magical sort of challenge is present. You need to go out there and discover it. You have to actually go, like, if I change my perspective, can I see the situation from a playful standpoint? From a playful standpoint, from a place of magic. But it's going to take patience. And it's what I'm also getting, it's going to take some ingredient, like you're going to have to go out and find ingredients to make this situation more magical. Maybe not ingredients, tools, or because I'm seeing, like a witch and she has a cauldron and she's like throwing things into the cauldron, but it's like, it's like when you're making a potion. Part of, like when you were a kid, right? When you're a kid and you're making potions, right? If you're making a potion, part of the fun is going out and fighting all the things you're going to put into your potion. Like what leaf am I going to pick off the tree? Like which leaf, because it's really important, which leaf gets thrown into the potion. Which acorn that I found on the ground, because it needs to be a very special one. It needs to be the one that I'm really feeling, right? Which grains of sand go into the potion. It's like some of you maybe actually making potions could be something that brings this energy out of you again. Like, why don't you make a potion for whatever the situation is, to get the situation into like a magical like place? This is going to be very specific for someone again. Make a potion and drink it to turn a situation that seems dull and like I'm getting unassuming is the word that's coming through. Dull and unassuming. Again, dull. It's funny. I keep saying the word dull, but then I don't, like, as soon as I say dull, I don't resonate with it. So I feel like you even know that this situation's not dull. Like I'm saying the word dull, and I'm like, every single time I say the word dull, I'm like, no, that's not the word, but I keep saying it. Why do I keep saying it when it's not dull? If it's dull, why do I keep telling myself that it's dull? Why do I keep telling myself that it's boring when it's not boring? When I know what, because it's not even me giving you this message. I feel like, because we had this conversation, I'm giving you a monologue right now, but the way I said it's like sometimes it's me screaming at myself. I feel like you're like, in a way, don't freak out, you're talking to yourself right now through me. You're talking to yourself right now through me. In the depths of your motherfucking being that this situation is not boring, and it has a lot more to give you, and it has a lot more to offer, and it's not dull. It's not dull. From the depths of your heart, you know that there is something you can excavate from this, but it's not excavate. The thing is, there's nothing visceral about this. You don't need to, because it's not visceral energy that you have to like excavate and dig and, oh, we have to find the treasure. It's not that. The treasure, if you just walk around the fucking white cube, you'll find the treasure. You'll find. You'll find. Group 2, are you angry with yourself because you are not recognizing how special this situation is? Is that something? Because I'm kind of picking up on like anger, but like anger with myself, or like self, the person. Knight of Pentacles, patience. Patience is coming through so much in this reading. But it's not patience. If this situation involves other people, it's not about being patient with them. This is all about being patient with yourself when it comes to this situation, and knowing that you'll derive magic out of this situation. You'll get what you need to get out of the situation, but it's not going to be by magic. It's going to be by like waiting magic, collecting pieces for potion magic. Like if you invest into this situation, group 2, you are not going to regret it. And it's funny because you will get your harvest from it in like some sort of practical sense, in some sort of physical sense. But your actual harvest that you are going to receive with this situation is patience. The skill of patience is what I heard. The skill of patience. Patience is magic. Patience is magic. And the better you get at the skill of patience, the more magical you become. And I heard it's like hacking reality. So that's very interesting. That was like, ooh, this group was freaking geeky. I liked it so much. Oh my God, thank you, group 2. That was so much fun. I'm going to leave it. Thank you. Oh, that one was, oh, no. Wait, we're not done yet. Fortune cookie. Thank you for patiently waiting, fortune cookie. Group 2. Ooh, that was a nice pop. Good that you follow your aims with persistence. Good that you follow your aims with persistence. Persistence and patience. They're like sisters, no? They're like sisters, no? Persistence, patience. Actually, persistence would be like such a nice girl's name. Or just like a name in general. Persistence. 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 Good that you follow your aims with persistence. And it's so funny because the other cookies, like that, because I've had a couple, their writing is in black and white. This one has green writing on it. That's so interesting. This one specifically has green writing on it. And I've had a couple of these fortune cookies at this point, and none of them were green. Group 2, what are you on? What are you on, group 2? That's so fun. Okay. That was group 2. That was very, very interesting. Let's see. Let's look at the chat. Not me watching this after blocking someone. Oh, people are re-examining their block lists. You're always encouraging me to read, and do I always say that in your readings? Because I don't always mention reading in readings. Block lists. I mean, Venus just went direct again, so maybe we're giving a bit more leeway and grace. Because I associate Venus with grace, giving more grace to people. We're having a meta moment right now. Okay, thank you so much, group 2. Thank you. That was a really fun reading to do. I feel like I actually need a little moment before I start group 3. Any news? Anyone want to share any news in the chat? Because I'm gonna take a moment because I feel like that was very intense with group 2, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Just like a lot. Okay. Group 3. Okay, group 3. Group 3, last cookie. I'm going to channel first, do the cards, and then we'll do the cookie after. Okay. Immediately I saw a parachute. Parachute. I'm also getting the idea of like a soft landing. Landing softly. Soft landing. Honestly, for you, group 3, I'm feeling pretty relaxed. Like I feel a very relaxed feeling in my body when I'm doing this particular group. Soft landing, parachute. I just can't get over how relaxed I feel for group 3. Like, I feel like it's funny because I've actually been experiencing some anxiety in my body in the last couple of days, but it's almost like it's been taken away. Like, with this group, I almost feel like it's gone. Like, it's just gone. I feel like I was very hyperactive. No. I feel very peaceful. It's like there is this idea of like feeling peaceful that you landed on your feet. Some of you are about to like land. There's this feeling, a risk you've taken. I don't even want to say the word pay is about to pay off. I don't even want to say that because that doesn't resonate. You're about to land softly from a risk that you've taken that was very difficult for you to take. Like it was a very difficult leap for you to take. And you're about to land so softly, like the softest landing. I feel like the beginning of this risk might have been very violent. Like there's this feeling like there was like a very violent jump, like a very violent plunge. But you're about to like land as softly as a feather, as peacefully as a feather floats down, floats down, floats down, and lands on the ground. Like there's that kind of as light as a feather. So you're about to feel as light as a feather. I feel group 3. I think I would be shocked if most people that pick this group are not already feeling this. So a violent risk that you've taken brings a soft landing is basically like the gist of the energy that I'm feeling. And I would be surprised if most of you that pick group 3 here are not already feeling this peacefulness. Okay. Anything else before I start the cards? Start the cards. Okay, let's go. That was really funny. Okay. Why don't you just start the cards, Vlada? Why don't you just start the cards? I feel like this is gonna make you want to take more risks. There's that kind of, there's almost this feeling of, oh my god, that's the way that this turned out. I'm about to take more risks. Okay. 4 of Cups. I'm getting a very different feeling from the 4 of Cups here because of what I've just channeled. Four of Cups can be meditative state. It doesn't have to just be like apathy or boredom or rejection. It can be meditative state. This is a really good time for you to meditate. I also feel like when you finally land softly with whatever risk this was, it's a good idea to sit back and reflect on the fact that everything went well in the end. It's important to give yourself credit for the fact that everything went well in the end. It's this feel, what I'm getting with this Four of Cups is more, because okay, so I'm taking a risk, violent risk, or like it doesn't have to be violent, but something that feels dangerous potentially. It's like, and then it's like softly as a feather, the landing is so soft, and then it's this feeling like, okay, let's go again. But before you go again, there might be a need to just like sit back and go, okay, that was a soft landing. But maybe there's a need to also observe why the landing was soft. Like, give yourself credit for the things that you did to create this softness. And not rush too quickly for that high again of the risk. I feel like there's something I'm not getting yet. But I feel like I shouldn't pull another card either. It's funny. I'm like, I don't feel like I need to pull another card yet. But it's like I'm looking at this Four of Cups and there's something I'm not getting yet about it. You're going to be really happy you've taken the risk that you did. The landing is soft. You're relieved. So I'm getting the landing is soft. You're relieved. That's amazing. That was amazing. What a rush. The rush of a violent start and a soft landing. What a rush. But let me observe. Why was it soft? Oh, because I had a parachute. You need to, once you have the soft landing, you need to assess how you prepared. The way you prepare is important, and it's something that you need to give yourself credit for. I'm getting this idea of like risk assessment. I think for a lot of you, your guides want you to know that you're really good at risk assessment. Like that is your strength. Like maybe some of you need to like work in jobs that maybe some of you came to this reading like thinking like, what do I even do with my life? What should I get into as a profession, as a career? And so maybe this is your answer. I don't know, but I'm just kind of give yourself the credit for how good you are at risk assessment. You're really good at risk assessment. Page of Wands. Page of Wands loves to take risks. Impulse control is coming through. Don't kill your natural instincts and impulses, but utilize your skills around risk control or risk assessment, I should say. Knight of Wands. A lot of impulse control stuff that's coming through. Don't kill your instincts. Oh, here we go. Okay. And enter. So I think inside of you there are two wolves. Inside of you there is a very impulsive person, insanely impulsive person. Inside of you there is an impulsive, well, I want to say is impulsive demon. Inside of you there is an impulsive rascal. An impulsive rascal. And at one point, you had to bring your second wolf in, your second character, who controls the impulsive demon, rascal. Right, we've got a rascal, right? The rascal is rascaling around with their impulses, and the impulses are crazy, right? And then you had to bring in someone to control the rascal, someone to keep the rascal in check. That's your risk assessment. Cop. You brought in a fucking cop. Anyway, you've got this little rascal, this impulsive rascal, and you've got this I don't know, controller, risk controller. They need to get along. You need to get along. They need to get along. You can't, the controller can't be extinguishing the rascal, because the rascal is the very energy that allows the controller to even exist in the first place. So what I'm getting for this message is, don't try to extinguish this crazy impulsive little demon that lives inside of you, but also don't get rid of the controller. It's like they can't exist without one another. Why I feel like people in this group would do very well in careers that require like high levels of risk. I'm really getting that. I'm getting that strongly. But it's not just about career, right? It's about how you live your life. And I feel like maybe for some of you in this group, it's important to recognize that you are, at your very essence, a very fiery, passionate, impulsive rascal. And yes, you can bring another character to control that rascal, but you cannot extinguish them. You cannot extinguish them. You cannot get rid of them. They are what keeps you going. Because I am now being brought back to like that idea of like skydiving and, you know, bungee jumping or whatever the fuck. I don't know, like taking risks. Some of you might need to do something like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of getting adrenaline junkie energy with this group. Like adrenaline. So adrenaline is coming through now. But I'm also getting someone who's maybe learned how to control that love for adrenaline. But be careful not to go too far into the other side where you try to extinguish this rascal. Okay, I'm repeating myself now, so let's proceed with more cards, I think. When was the last time you did something impulsive, maybe for this group? When was the last time you did something kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe I just did that? Maybe some of you need that sort of an experience again. And it can be healthy, right? I mean, there's ways to do it in a healthy way, but... The Tower for group 3. When was the last time that you've done something that you're like, I'm crazy for doing that? I am sort of insane for doing that. Also, Tower, Mars energy. We've got so, like, look at all this fire. And we began the reading with the Four of Cups, which is such a, like, ugh, ugh. Maybe this is your energy right now. You're in a dull energy. You're in a dull ass energy. Dullness is such a, it's such a topic tonight from different angles. When was the last time that you did something kind of like, when was the last time you've shocked yourself? But again, it doesn't have to be done in a, because I feel like maybe you have associations with this concept from times where it was like a shadowy way of doing it, a self-destructive way of doing it. What if you did it in a destructive way, but not to yourself, but more so to this Four of Cups energy? Because the Tower came under the Four of Cups energy. What if you did it to destroy your apathy rather than to destroy yourself? But I did hear that very clearly. When was the last time that you've shocked yourself? When was the last time that you've shocked yourself? Surprised yourself? When was the last time that you've surprised yourself? That's coming through. Also, there's this message that's coming through. Have you lied to yourself about shocking or surprising yourself, but you completely expected yourself to do something? The Ten of Pentacles. You are stable enough to let that little impulsive rascal to come out to play again. That's the message that I'm getting. Some of you need to recognize that you are stable enough to go out and do something. Like, I'm almost getting, you are stable enough to do something a bit immature again. Like, there's that kind of energy to this. You are secure and stable enough to do something that is a little bit like not the most adult thing to do or not the most mature thing to do. For a lot of you, I'm actually getting that there's some sort of an ancestor, because I actually just felt an energy here. I feel like there's some sort of an ancestor who, maybe this was someone who was like an adrenaline junkie or something like that. I got more of a female presence, but I'm getting like someone who was like an adrenaline junkie in a sense, you know, because I picked out the Ten of Pentacles and I felt this energy here. And I feel like for someone here, there is an ancestor who's like, come on, let's go do something crazy tonight. Like, I'm kind of getting that energy. Like, let's go crazy tonight. Just one night. We'll go crazy for one night. But it doesn't have to be like a night out. It's like in one moment. Let's have one moment where we go crazy. Where we like give in to our impulses. Where we give into that like maybe slightly animalistic nature. Knight of Pentacles to me is carefulness. I feel like you're tired of being careful. Group 3. Are you tired of being careful? But I feel like there's another side of this is where your guides are saying you've taken enough care of yourself and your surroundings, and maybe even you've taken enough care of your future to make some like to first of all take some risks, but also to make some decisions that are maybe just more so led by your impulses rather than is this going to be practical? Is this going to be safe? Is this going to be this? Like, you're such a risk assessor to the point. It's great that you're careful, though. I'm getting this energy like it's great that you're being careful and that you've been careful up until this point. But aren't we a bit bored now? Like, it's basically, isn't it getting a bit boring being this careful at this point? We need to shake it up a bit. Like, all this carefully built up thing that we've created, maybe we need to test it out a bit. Oh, again. Right. So we've got the Tower and we've got the Ten of Pentacles, right? You've built up a foundation and your guides are like, what's good, a solid foundation if you don't test it out a bit? Well, like, strike it with a lightning. See if it's still there after we strike it with a lightning. Shock it a bit. See if it can take it. Like, there's this kind of feeling that I'm getting with this group. It's like, and it's your energy, right? It's your guides. It's your, I don't know, higher self that wants to test out the solid energy you've built up around yourself. It's like, okay, if we've been so careful, we've been making sure that it's solid, we've been making sure that it's stable, but what good is this stability? What good is this safety, security if it never gets tested out? We need to test it out. Like, how strong is the structure? Okay. And how you do that is you give into your impulses a bit more. You take more risks. That's what I'm getting for this group. You're being urged to, but like, even like, maybe it's time to be a bit more immature with your choices, but not immature the way that maybe we view immature. Like, I feel like the word immature, the word naive is not right either. Let me think of a word. Like, there's careful versus careless. And it's almost like the energies around you want you to be a bit more careless in the way that you go forward. It doesn't mean that you can't go switch back into your carefulness after a period, because I don't think they want you to do it for the next like year or whatever. But there's this like, what if we were just a bit more careless for the next month or so? What if we just zapped it, shocked it a bit? It's kind of like, like the defibrillator. I can't say that word. Like, that's shock to your heart, right? If you don't pump the heart, like, wait, if the heart stops or whatever, the defibrillator, I can't say the fucking word, shocks it back. It's like there's no heart without that shock, or there's no heartbeat. Like, it's almost like there's no heartbeat to something. You're losing your heart, like because you're so careful. It's like you're so careful, you're losing your heart. You're losing the heart of the matter. The whole point this whole thing started. If you're too careful, the fire will go out, the light will go out, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. You need to shock it back into existence. Shock yourself back into existence. Shock yourself back into existence. I just feel like that's an important line for this reading. You need to shock yourself back into existence. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is like all about the heart as well, right? You need to shock yourself back into existence. Careful versus careless. Reckless little rascal. You need to be a reckless little rascal. I almost get this feeling of like you are taken care of now. You've taken care of yourself enough that you can do something a bit more risky, that you can do something a little bit more immature, that you can like have a crazy day or crazy night or crazy moment or whatever it is that you need. Trust yourself to do something shocking that is healthy. Trust yourself to shock yourself in a healthy way because you're there. Trust yourself that you are in a place where you're mature enough to do something risky, because you're not going to risk things in a stupid way anymore. The way you're going to risk, you have the risky rascal inside of you, but you also have that like careful risk assessor inside of you. Let them work together to take a new type of a risk. And they together create a new evolved mega risk. Together, I guess for some of you, the message is, what is a brand new type of risk that I can take? What is the type of there's different risks that we can take, right? You can take a risk that is like, I don't know, getting into a stranger's van, stranger danger. You can take a risk of jumping off a cliff into the ocean. You can take a risk of skydiving or whatever. You can take a risk of moving to a new country where you don't know anyone. You can take, there's so many risks that you can take. I'm hearing, what risk have I not taken yet? It's not about risking the way you've risked before. It's about a risk that you can take that you've never taken before. And in the process of that, testing out the foundations that you've built over the past years, but also surprising yourself. And I keep getting the soft landing. So let's get the cookie now. The cookie! Let's get the message. Oh, this one's green as well. Okay, so group 2 wasn't that special. It made them feel very special though. No, I'm joking. Let's have a look at group 3. Harmony and balance are waiting for you. It's like you cannot disturb harmony and balance at this point. It's like harmony and balance are waiting for you because of other risks that you've taken. So don't be afraid to take more risks, because no matter what, you've learned how to maintain harmony and balance even when you take risks. Maybe trust yourself that you have that ability, that you have the skill of maintaining harmony and balance even when you risk. Because you're such a good risk assessor, and you're a good risk taker and you're a good risk assessor. And you just need to, it's like you're using 2 feet. And it's like there's a risk taker, a risk assessor, a risk taker, a risk assessor. And it's just like navigating that. That's what balance is, walking, right? But you don't walk, you don't hop with 1 foot. That's actually how you lose your balance. You walk. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, group 3. Okay. That was a fun message. Today was a great day for a live reading, for sure. I am so glad I did it. I am so pleased with myself. Okay. Let's have a look at the comments. Hey, Angela! Oh my god, so that was the 4 of Cups. Oh my god, that is so funny. Stop it. Stop it right now. Stop. That is 4 of Cups. I wish I read that earlier. That's fucking hilarious. Okay. Demon mode. Always. Can't burn out if you don't burn bright. Am I right? You are right. FK8 Twigs Careless. I need to listen. I'm going to listen to that song after I get off the live. Morning. Good morning. Good morning, Australia. Hey, Alice. How are you? I'm so glad you had fun. Thank you so much for joining the live. Yeah, that's it though. It's done. The live is going to be saved, of course, like always. If you want to tip me, if you enjoy this, you can tip me. My PayPal link is in the description of this live. You can join my Patreon, even though I am posting on Patreon, but I am low on energy these days to channel, but I am still doing things. Oh, bye, Paul. Thank you for joining my live. Did you stay the whole time, Paul? That I did. I thought you just came to say hello. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Flo. Thank you so much for joining the live. Thank you, Angela. You were talking to me, boo. Thank you, everyone. Time for work. Oh my God, go work, you guys. Or sleep, or drink your morning coffee, whatever it is. But yeah, if you want to support me on Patreon, I would really appreciate it. You can also send me a tip here with the super thanks button, and on my PayPal link you can send me a tip that way as well. I'll probably do more live readings. Of course, also if you need a private reading, I have my link to my Etsy in the description box below as well. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining my live. Thank you so much for joining this reading. It'll be saved, like I said. Yeah, okay. Bye. Bye, everybody.